I think Americans are so touchy, like you hug people a lot. And in our country, no one is touching each other. Like, really, I hugged my mom like 5 times in my lifetime.
My name's Raul Daryanani and I'm from Mumbai in India.
My name is Camila Khalilullah. I'm from Kazakhstan.
Hi, I'm Victoria Wee and I'm from Singapore.
Hi, I'm Merlin Evans. I'm from London, England. I'll represent.
My family is originally from a province called Sindh, which was formerly in undivided India, which is now Pakistan.
Kazakhstan is ex-Soviet Union country. I think we kind of lost our identity as a Kazakhs, being like 300 years as colony.
I grew up in central London most of my life.
My whole family's lived in Singapore for many generations, but I grew up in Malaysia.
But we moved to Mumbai 4 generations ago, so that is basically what home is for us.
You go to different parts of London and sort of Caucasians become the minority. It's really ridiculously diverse. My 3 best friends, they're like Sri Lankan, Irish, Lebanese and Iranian.
One of them was Korean, one was some Russian was Polish. And here one group I'm hanging out with are mostly Europeans, and other group I'm hanging out are just Asians, and they don't include anyone European in there.
In India, you don't have all that many people from other countries. It's more diversity in the case of religion.
I feel like religion plays a bigger part back home than in like daily life than like for most people here.
Religiousness isn't as big a thing here.
The Chinese community in Singapore is very like rooted into like either their Christian faith or their Buddhist faith.
There's a very large Muslim, Sikh and Hindu community in England, in London especially.
Singapore's like tiny. It is like 45 minutes from like the most north end to the most south end. Like it is tiny, and like there are so many temples and so many churches. You hear the mosques every day. You hear them like in the morning and like in the afternoon and then at night.
I was going home from school once by car, and suddenly everything just stopped. And the reason why the cars had stopped was because a cow had gone and sat down in the middle of the road. And no one was going to move it because a lot of people in India consider the cow to be like a sacred animal. So they weren't willing to like bother the cow, and they were like, the cow will move when the cow wants to move. We've got people from almost every continent. Everybody's out there sharing their ideas with people from different places, and I think it makes for a good learning environment.
I suppose I'm the first Kazakhstanian that most people ever will meet in their life.
No one's really heard of Singapore, Malaysia really, so it's like no one really like knows the culture that well.
Everyone assumes I'm clever just because of my accent.
I had no idea about, all this Asians are smart stuff. It was such a big surprise for me. People were like, oh, you're Asian, that's why you'll get a good grade. And I'm like, why? No, I won't.
I have to say, this is the biggest culture shock there. Out of all the places I went, Bolivia, all of that, like Americans are more different than anyone else.
The rumor is true that some American students really don't know about people from other countries. I mean, I had somebody ask me if we have electricity in India. So
I know more Americans that have never left the country than like any other citizenship.
A lot of people are surprised there's a country outside America. You know what I mean? It's outrageous. I've met like 7 people who didn't know England was an island.
It kind of makes sense, but at the same time, it's like kind of weird that like to think that some people don't have a passport.
the way people act and the system of education, just everything, it's a completely different world to me.
Americans are really friendly. That was like a really big culture shock.
There's no like cynicism, it's very like, you know what I mean? It's all very like peppy. It's fun though, it's great fun.
How can people just stand up and just speak so much and just talk about so much and say all this I love yous, like I was thinking, oh, just American movies. It's just, they don't really say I love you so much, but you actually do that.
The ultimate American dream, I swear. Just go cruising down the beach, surf a few waves, California living, bro.
And it's obviously a terrific place to be. California is just the land of opportunity, honestly. Being at LMU is just an amazing experience.
I left my home to disappear as